Dr. Bier has spent his career at the intersection of learning and technology, working to expand access to and improve the quality of education. He's currently the Executive Director of the Simon Initiative and the Director of the Open Learning Initiative, or OLI, at Carnegie Mellon University, or CMU. Named for Nobel laureate Herb Simon, the Simon Initiative works to interconnect, accelerate, and disseminate CMU's unique learning, research, and educational technology ecosystem. Key to this initiative is an approach that Simon dubbed learning engineering, the use of learning, research, and affordances of technology to design and deliver innovative, instrumented educational practices with demonstrated and measurable outcomes. Wow, I'm really looking forward to listening to about that. OLI, a recognized leader in open education, combines leading research in the learning sciences with state-of-the-art technology to create scientifically based courses that facilitate understanding for independent learners and supports instructors to improve effectiveness in traditional classrooms. By rigorously capturing and evaluating learner data, OLI delivers powerful feedback loops that assist learners and educators improve courses and contribute to the larger understanding of how humans learn. Prior to joining OLI, he was a director of training and development at iCarnegie Incorporated, a university subsidiary chartered to deliver CMU-designed software development education through international partner institutions. His teaching experience includes both philosophy and computer science courses at institutions ranging from the Community College of Allegheny County to Carnegie Mellon University. He is a recognized leader in open education and educational technology, and in fact, in 2015, he was honored by the Center for Digital Education as one of their top 30 technologists, transformers, and trailblazers. Once again, here's, you gotta say it, Dr. Bier.
First, just sort of getting this out of the way, I am pro-technology. I think that we can do great things with it. I'm assuming that's a comfortable position at this conference. I'm not going to stand up here and promise you some rapid transformational silver bullet. I think that anybody that does, you should invite to leave the stage. If they own an ed tech company and promise that they're going to disrupt higher education, you should throw them off the stage. So those are sort of our ground rules. Core message as we walk out of the room, whatever else you get from this talk, I hope that you recognize that we in not-for-profit higher education are in an exceptional position to leverage the work that's going on in innovation and learning science and to use it to simultaneously improve outcomes in our classroom, but also to advance our understanding of how human beings learn. And I think that being successful in this space is going to require a number of things that we in higher ed are not traditionally good at. We're not actually great at collaboration, we're not great at new business models, and we've been getting better at open approaches, but we need to learn how to do better at all of it. If nothing else, you're going to hear me repeat this phrase a few times during the talk, and if you get nothing else from my talk, science is incremental. All right, so at the beginning of this, I told you that I was the executive director of the Simon Initiative. As you heard, this is named for Herb Simon. Who knows who Herb Simon is? Who's Herb Simon? Organizational behavior, this is really where he did the bulk of his work. And so Dr. Simon was a Carnegie Mellon professor. He was also maybe best known for winning a Nobel Prize in economics, which he got by trying to understand organizational behavior. And he decided that to understand organizational behavior, he needed to model human intelligence. And so he spent some time with Alan Newell inventing the modern field of artificial intelligence. Got to the end of that run, decided that he really needed to better understand how human cognition worked if he was going to model human intelligence. And so he then went on to found what we currently think of as cognitive science as a field. Man was busy. It's a little bit humbling to lead an initiative named for him. But he is relevant in this case because at the end of his career, he began to spend a lot more of his time and attention thinking about how to improve learning. His own sense was that we have done as much as we're going to do in terms of improvement, if learning and teaching are going to consist of one person standing up here talking at you. And instead, his argument was that to make advances, we need to begin to treat the improvement of learning as a research discipline in its own right, and as a research discipline that belongs to every faculty member, one that we need to treat with the same rigor and the same respect as research in our own domains. And so this is a challenge that he threw out to his colleagues at CMU, to build this research community that really took as its mission the advancement of learning and our understanding of learning. 50 years ago, Herb Simon proposed what he called a learning engineering approach. And his notion of learning engineering is that we begin with these models and use them as a way to integrate what's happening in the learning sciences and what's happening in ongoing research with new and innovative practice. So we're able to use the best of what we know from the sciences to design both our models and our practice, instrument those practices, whether those are something new in the classroom or something new online, and use that data to fundamentally improve what's happening inside of our practice. One key piece of this is an approach that we've been talking about as learning design as hypothesis, that at any point when we're developing our learning environments, when we drill down into smaller sets of learning activities, we're going to take what we know from good design and good instructional engineering, but we're also going to recognize that what we are making is a hypothesis, that a student that engages in these activities is going to achieve certain outcomes. And then we're closing the loop. We're taking the data and saying, all right, how good was our hypothesis? What do we need to do to adjust either the materials or our initial goals? I'll come back to this and talk about it in a bit. We also are religious about data, that this ability to embed assessment into our learning environments gives us this ability to drive powerful feedback loops. Some of this is giving feedback to the learner, targeted feedback on their mistakes, hints when they need them. But equally useful and interesting is the ability to give feedback to our instructors. This is just one example of that. So this is a learning dashboard, the tool that was developed as part of the larger Simon Initiative by Marcia Lovett. The notion here is that sitting underneath every OLI course, we have a cognitive model representing what the students are trying to achieve and tying it to the activities in the course. As learners interact with these activities, we've got a model that is making predictions on how well they're mastering the material. So students in the gray have not done enough for us to make a prediction. Red, we think they're still struggling. Yellow, they've almost got it. And green end up being folks who are almost there, right? Or ideally are there, rather. Folks in the green should be able to pass an assessment at the end of the course. Big picture on this, the Simon Initiative offers opportunities to engage in a learning engineering approach. We are taking all of the stuff that we have and we're trying to push it out into the open as the foundation for a larger community of learning engineering. There are opportunities to engage with this work whether you're an individual faculty member or whether you are a system representing the state of North Carolina. We think that some piece of this is technological, some piece of it is social, but we also recognize that supporting this work is going to require new ways of thinking about sustaining it. So hopefully, you can think about this as an open invitation to join in this work, whether this is at a higher level conversation about how we can imagine new financial models, whether this is in engaging in the research and uploading your own data, whether this is simply taking advantage of some of the stuff that's on OLI and adding your own work to it. In the end, we have an opportunity, I think, as not-for-profit higher education that is fairly unique to collaborate in this way. And it's something that I'm hoping we find new ways to take advantage of.